Hi guys, today I'm doing What a Blast by Peter Banks iready. When engineers demolish a building, they first create a ballot. It tells the order in which blasts occur. Then as each explosion happens, a different part of the building falls down until the entire building has collapsed.
After the frame that supports the building breaks, the rest of the building collapses or implodes under its own weight. It's like kicking the legs out from under a table. Ideally, the flattened structure winds up in a neat pile.
Why is destroying the building frame like kicking the legs out from under a table?
The frame holds up the building like table legs hold up a table. It's this one or either this one. Yeah.
To be efficient and keep down costs, engineers want to use the smallest amount of explosive possible. To figure out how much they need, engineers study the building plans and also do tests. They pick a column that isn't holding the building up, drill a hole in it, fill it with what they think is the right amount of explosive, and set it off. If the column doesn't break, they need a bit more explosive. If it shatters completely, they need a bit less.
How do engineers solve the problem of using the smallest possible amount of explosive?
Test. Telephone.
Once the demolition experts know how much explosive to use, they drill small holes in other columns and put the explosive inside. Steel columns are stronger than other types of columns. They need a different kind of explosive, called a shaped charge. When these go off, they make a very narrow blast that can slice through steel like a knife. For concrete columns, dynamite often does the trick. To keep pieces of concrete from flying out during the explosion, the columns are wrapped in wire mesh and a special strong fabric.
Cool.
Why do experts use one kind of explosive for steel columns and another for concrete columns?
The steel is stronger than concrete, so it requires a more powerful explosive.
When all goes well, controlled demolitions leave a pile of rubble that can be quickly cleared away so a new building can start. The demolition of the Kingdom made way for a new sports stadium.
That's cool.
How does controlled destruction make it easier to build new buildings?
The rubble can be cleaned up quickly. California.
Aylin and the Eagle by Mia Lewis.
On off.
The baby was crying again. Aylin bent over the pot and stirred. The spicy stew smelled delicious, but it was already warm inside the gur. Working over the stove made Aylin's cheeks red with heat. Grandfather was clucking loudly to the family's young hunting eagle. He tried to stroke it, but it flapped and struggled on its perch. It wanted to be outside. After the meal, Father would take the eagle out for training. It was learning to return when called. He'd promised Aylin today she could practice catching it. If she did well, He'd let her train her own eagle next year.
Oh yeah, I read this one in second grade.
How do Aylin and the eagle both feel about being inside the gur?
Aylin and the eagle both want to be outside.
Aylin knew Grandfather didn't approve. For generations, only the boys in the family had hunted with eagles. But she had always wanted to learn, and her parents didn't mind. Now she had a chance to prove herself. But a whispered voice inside her asked, "Am I ready?" "Take Grandfather his tea," Mother sighed, leaning over to scoop up the baby while taking over at the stove. Aylin placed a steaming mug in front of Grandfather and, without thinking, reached out to stroke the eagle. It folded its wings and relaxed under her touch. "I'm going to catch the eagle today," she said. "I hope you'll watch." "Humph," said Grandfather. "We'll see."
Fill in the blanks to explain what Grandfather thinks about Aylin training an eagle.
Grandfather is not supportive. Only boys in the family have trained eagles in the past. Grandfather doubts that Aylin can succeed in training an eagle.
When she'd finished cleaning up, Aylin stepped outside into the cold, crisp air. All was quiet and still. She took a deep breath, stretched her arms out wide, and smiled. The land lay white under a thin, shimmering layer of snow. Even the sky was white. She could just see the outline of the mountains in the distance almost blending into the horizon. Father brought the horses around and helped Aylin onto her horse before mounting himself. "Ready?" he asked. "Ready," Aylin replied.
What is it like outside? Add the correct answer to the chart.
It is cold, quiet, and still. Aylin feels free and happy.
Carrying the eagle, Father rode to the top of the small hill nearby. Aylin headed to a nearby plain, clutching a fresh, meaty rabbit bone. When Aylin signaled she was ready, Father thrust the bird into the air. Aylin called out to it with a high, sharp cry. The eagle soared upward, its huge wings outspread, a draft of air lifting it to the sky. Aylin called out again, holding the bone as high as she could. The eagle seemed to glance toward the mountains and down again. Aylin held her breath, then called once more. Suddenly, the eagle turned toward her, tucking its wings to increase its speed. Aylin braced herself and absorbed the full force of impact as the huge bird crashed onto her arm. She secured its leather leg straps around her wrist while it flapped awkwardly, already pulling at the rabbit bone.
Fill in the blanks to contrast story events.
Inside the girl, Aylin wonders if she's ready to hunt an eagle outside. Outside, she calls the eagle to her and shows courage and strength. Aylin proves, I don't think it's ready, but I think. Yeah.
Aylin laughed and looked around triumphantly, searching for her father. But it was Grandfather she saw first. The old man stood outside the gur. He looked at Aylin and nodded. Aylin grinned with pride. Well done, beamed Father, trotting up. Looks like we have another eagle hunter in the family. And next year she will have her very own eagle.
Nice job.
What does Grandfather do after Aylin's practice with the eagle? Add the event to the chart.
Grandfather nods to show his approval of Aylin as a...
Was this story interesting?
Yes.
Changing the Score by Mia Lewis. Read carefully. You only get one try to answer each question.
The Spartans advanced. Their red-headed star player dribbled the soccer ball up the muddy field, speeding past players on Jay's team. Oh no, thought Jay, bracing himself. Not again. Jay was playing defense for the Hammerheads, a position that was no fun when the opposing team was so good. The score was tied 1-1, but only because the Hammerheads goalie had made some great saves. Suddenly, Red kicked, aiming the ball at his teammate on Jay's left. But Red slipped just as his shoe struck the ball. His aim was off target, heading dead center between Jay and his teammate. Here was Jay's chance to change the outcome of the game.
Good job, Jay. You can do it.
Which sentence best describes the setting at the beginning of the story?
The setting is a baseball. The setting is a muddy field on a summer day. What?
Run! Roared Jay's father from the sideline. Get the ball! Jay ran, but the Spartan player ran faster. Jay tried to get in front of him and steal the ball, but with a dodge and a shift, he got past Jay and made his move.
The Spartans
Fill in
hit
the blanks
net.
to describe the important events in this section of the story.
Jay is playing defense. Jay has a chance to stop a girl, but his father shouts and distracts him. A Spartan player gets the ball and scores. Bye guys, that's all for today. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.